Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Very enthused today on a Monday morning. We'll be reviewing Saturday's leg workout in hindsight to see what the benefits, what we can do to improve, what was lacking, what can be done. So, we've been hitting PRs in the last few sessions with the hip supported hack thrust or hack squat. I might say, man, what a machine! This thing is just it's one of the best things I've found in the gym so far. This particular gym that I'm going to has some interesting pieces of equipment that I've been taking advantage of. But before we get into this, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment, post notifications, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. So, what have we been doing? We've been striving to hit 6 plates eventually on the hack squat. Now that's a significant amount of weight. Not there yet. We're at 5 plates. 5 plates seem pretty daunting. I hit one more rep than last time. The previous PR was 3 reps. This one was 4. Now, in hindsight and looking at the video, it seems somewhat easy. I mean, because I actually performed the thing and it's with the proper cadence and everything. But in the moment, it's kind of scary. The thing that I want to get over and not feel again is that anxious apprehension of fear. Like the whole time I was setting up the feeder sets, going from just the sled, 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, to build up to the 5 plates. I was also building up my expectation and my nervousness. When I got to 3 plates, it started to feel a bit heavy. Um, and I'm thinking to myself, gee, what if something happens? What if, quad this, my knee that? And it's like, man, you can't have that mindset. It's something to overcome. It's another hassle, mental hassle. It's another issue. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be careful or that I shouldn't be careful. It's just that this is definitely something that I want to overcome and not deal with. I just want to focus in the moment. I know that I can do it and just do it. So I won't be going for the 6 plates until I hit at least 8 reps with those 5 plates. I was going to jump when I hit 5, but these jumps are pretty outrageous. To go from 5 to 6 is literally taking my life into my own hands. It's like just coming up with, reaching down into the bottom of, scraping the barrel of the will and just, putting my all in all for that one set. And I think that's kind of a burnout system. So I'm not that anxious or that keen to do that. What I am anxious and keen to do is hit more and more and more reps with the weight I can handle right now. So I can handle 5 plates. I know that the next time I don't need to be that nervous when I go in and say, well, okay, 5 plates. Been 2 sessions now that I did with 3 reps. Now I do it with 4. So I'm going to go for 5 or whatever I can do. And the back off set is also a pretty interesting thing because obviously it's much easier. So there's a weight lifted off the mind. It's like, okay, 5 now you're going down. Okay, now it's easier. Now it's just striving, to persist with reps to see how deep you can go. And that's a different type of energy. That's a different type of willpower. But it's not as scary. It's not as daunting as doing the maximum weight. So, um, that left me a bit fatigued mentally to do the entire routine that I had scoped out. I was going to do Bulgarian splits, vertical leg presses, and that was it. 4 exercises. So warming up with the leg curl, I'm actually making gains on this also. I don't know about you guys, but the mentality when you're going for these heavy compound lifts and you're striving to build up, say, your squat or your leg press or your deadlift or whatever the thing that may be, you don't look at your accessories as like, the big deal. But they are. They are very important. They're not only accessories, without them you will not be building your maximum lifts. And they also develop muscle. They do contribute to leg hypertrophy, absolutely. So I've been leaning into the leg curl a bit more, starting a little bit higher than last time. So say on the initial progression started at 35 pounds. I mean, like nothing on the pin, right? And I worked up to 100 pounds. Today, I got it. I started at 80 pounds. What? No, at 90 pounds, 88 pounds, because 40 kilos is 88 pounds. Say 90 pounds, and did 20 reps. I could have gone to 25 or 30. I just could have kept on going all day. But of course, I have more sets to do. It was a warm up set, so I left it at 20. Bumped the pin up to 110. Did another 20 reps, and I said, well, "Okay, this is feeling pretty good. I'm feeling stronger on this. It's not as hard." And from there, I went up to 132, 145. I'm sorry, from 132, I finished at 154. I did a 20-pound jump and did 8 reps, whereas the last one at 145, I only did 7. So there's a progression happening there. And this is exciting. Now, how do you build progressions, or how do I build progressions? Obviously, there's days that you can't surpass your previous weight, but there always seems to be some kind of a rep parameter that you could always push through, be it at your second, third, or fourth set, if it's the bottom set, some place that you can put in more work, right, and increase. And all that does is it improves your work capacity. It gets the muscles and your mind used to lifting that extra rep and extra weight, and it helps you get stronger at the end. So there's always some parameter to build on. So after doing those 4 sets of leg curls, went to the hack. And that's where I started getting nervous. Shit, I got to do the 5 plates. Last time it took all I had to do those 3 reps. Will I have it in me today to do them? And, as I explained just now, I was very anxious, very nervous. I was a bit fearful. I was relieved when I went on my back off set. So my back off set, usually I just drop 1 plate, from 5 to 4. But in this case, I dropped 2 plates and went down to 3. 3 used to be my working load like a month ago. 3 plates was a challenge. I got it up to 12 reps. So today I said I'm going to try to do as many as I can. And I got up to 15. Now, could I have done 20 had my life depended on it? Sure. But, it's one of those things that you leave well enough alone. 15 reps, great. Next time I'll try for 20. Definitely. Or with the 4 plates, try for the 8 reps, which would be a PR there. And that was basically it. So since I saw that the session was being cut short due to, I just didn't want to burn myself out doing all the entire extensive leg routine, I did some neck training, which I do every once in a while. I would like to have a thicker neck. Who wouldn't want to have that nice, big, bold neck? I guess a lot of people wouldn't, but I would. So I decided to work on the leg curl machine, just laying face up, and the pad on the neck here. It doesn't really work too well without guidance from the hands. It's not like you can just do this thing on the leg curl and it'll work fine, because the angle, it's not, it kind of rolls off the forehead. So I had to support it and kind of help myself with the hand. So it becomes kind of a subjective, effort. How much control are you putting into the movement, not just letting the machine apply the pressure and the weight. But that was great. I did a lot of sets there. It's like, okay, I'm just going to spend some time here. I did like 5, 6 sets there. So I decided to do a complete neck routine and put on the belt. I use my lifting belt. I loop in a weight and I put it here like a harness, and then I do the neck raises. And that was basically it for the session today. It wasn't as extensive as I had planned, but it was more productive than I had planned. I'll leave the Bulgarian splits for the second session this week, perhaps on Thursday, and I'll do the leg presses also. So, looking forward, and that's the thing. When you make these progressions and yet you leave something on the table, at least for me, I really want to come back and redeem those workouts, and I just want to really go at them. So there is a benefit to holding back, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. There's a benefit to not expending all your willpower and all your strength on a particular session. And I emphasize the willpower because most of this effort that is done in the gym is not really muscular. It's the mind making you do these things. And that is something that has to be taken into account. That's what some people would call your CNS or central nervous system, the mind, the volition, the spirit. You want to build up your spirits. You don't want to tear them down. You want to attack them to a certain degree, and yet stimulate them for greater response in the future, just like the muscle. Just like the muscle. You want to become more engaged. You want to become more enthused. You want to become more joyful and happier and more exhilarated by your achievements. And that goes beyond just the physicality of it. There's a way of building that up too. And this is what I'm trying to do. So right now I'm built up in that particular sense. I'm stimulated. I can't wait till Thursday comes around because I really want to hit those Bulgarian splits. I want to, do the PRs on the vertical leg press, which I'm at 405 pounds with 7 reps, and I need to do 10 to 12 with those, 10 to 12. And I'm not really ambitious to go too heavy on those either. I saw Flex Lewis, I like 6-7 time 212 Mr. Olympia, tear his adductor by going down with 6 plates on the vertical leg press. And that's a horrific injury. You can't even squat down, you can't take a shit, you can't move, it's very painful, and it takes a while to heal. So I'm not really keen on hurting myself. I want to build up reps with those 4 plates. So I'm excited about the future of my workouts. That's the thing. When you stay on point, like you're really focused on something, it's hard to get off that focus. It's like now you're addicted to it. Now you're doing it. Now you just can't stop. Whereas if you're constantly slacking and taking vacations and breaks here and there, it's always seemed to be, starting from square one, from ground zero. It's like doing it over again, starting over again, especially if you're building respectable, heavy progressions. That can't really be done unless you're very focused and on point. And this takes years. I always, saw these big guys in the past talk about how you get strong and how you do that. Well, you just have to stay on it for years. And as a, kind of mediocre, slacker gym bro through my 20s, 30s, and 40s, that, I never really took this seriously. I was doing other things. I was doing other things in life, but I would go to the gym. But it was very common for me and everybody else I knew to not really stay on focus. Like, you go on a vacation or something happened, or I got the flu this week, I didn't go for 2 weeks. And, this is like the common denominator. Whereas at this stage, I haven't missed a workout in like years. Like since 2019, I have not missed a program workout. And the meals, the nutrition thing, once you get into a cut and diet, and you have to learn how many calories you're eating. Well, I eat 3,148 calories. How much protein? Well, I had 267 grams of protein, and they were from this source and that source. How many carbohydrates I brought it down to 225. And your fats? No, I hit 68 grams of fat. Now, when you're talking with that type of language, and you know exactly your macros, then you're on point with your food too, because you don't want to slack that. You say, oh, we're going out, we're going to have a burrito, and then you're going to have this and that, and then you go and total that thing and say, well, from 68 grams of fat, it went up to 240 grams of fat for the day. That's unacceptable. And then your protein's off, and everything's skewed, and then you can understand how people who eat like that never achieve that look, because to achieve that look, you have to eat in a certain manner. Right? So you retain the muscle, you burn the fat, and you get that body, because you're not going to get it if you don't know how to count your food. You'll be eating way too much fat one day. You won't be eating enough protein. All these things are very important. And for champions, say when you get to an elite level, it's down to the gram. It's like, and day after day after day, and then, the pictures and the photos and the video, and you got to, modify accordingly. Have cheat days. You bring it up on certain days, but only for one meal or maybe a day, and then you bring it down. And this manipulation of the nutrition is what gives these guys the look, along with the drugs. But the drugs are nothing, man, if you don't know how to train and how to eat. And I'll tell you from experience, because they just don't. don't work like that. They just don't work. You can take whatever it is, you know, the strongest steroids in the world, and if you don't know how to train, you don't know how to eat, you're not gonna look like that. It's that simple. And I know plenty of guys at the gym that take steroids, and they're nothing exceptional, right? And I know some other guys. What are they? They're prepping. Their food. They're weighing everything out. They're training on point. They look like something because it's the other. It's the other thing, along with the enhancements that bring out that in final the final result. So get a little bit long-winded here, and I love doing that. Anyways, thank God that we're able to do these things, and I would exhort anybody out there who's kind of serious about this, focus on your nutrition. First and foremost, try to get that under control and learn about calories, macros, weigh your food, prepare your food, get Tupperware, portion your food for the day. Don't get caught out on the street hungry where you got to just eat whatever. And that's what I have to say about that. So anyways, God bless everybody. Thank you for joining me again, and we'll see you the next time.